Hey guys, welcome back to another deck profile video. My name is Kiddo and today I'll be showing you how to build Messianic Lord Blaster in Standard and also some tips on how to pilot the deck. Yes, I know some of you guys have been thinking how to actually fully maximize the ability of MLB. Since the ability it's a bit awkward as you need 6 different blaster on the field. So yes, today I'm going to show you how I actually built the deck, which solely focus on MLB's ability. So without further ado, let's begin. First, in our grade 3 lineup, we actually have 4 Messianic Lord Blaster and 2 copies of Excalibur the Blaster. Right, so as you can see, this is the only grade 3 and grade 4 I play in the deck. I actually do not play Arcsaver Dragon. The card is pretty clunky to me. It's a grade 4 card, sure. The first ability allows you to make it become a grade 3 with a Blaster Vanguard and 2 different Blaster unit in the drop zone. But even though you were able to call as a first right, you won't be able to fully maximize the second ability because it requires 3 Counter Blast, 3 Soul Blast. You technically need 4 damage because you can only call the card from your damage zone that is face up. So I don't really see a point being in a Blaster deck. And one important point is it does not have Blaster in its name. So that's why I don't run it in this deck. Next, in our grade 2 lineup, I play 4 copies of Blaster Blade. Yes, in every Royal Paladin deck, Blaster Blade is still one of the best grade 2 unit, especially when it's grade 2. If you have 4 units or more, it gains an extra crit to rush your opponent, and it also helps you to retire any annoying front row attackers. Next, I play Blaster Rapier. Blaster Rapier is good as well. It gets 15k if it has 6 different Blaster in name. But the most important thing is when it attacks the Vanguard, if you have a Blaster Vanguard, you are able to check the top deck. If you like that card, put it back to the top. If you do not like it, just put it at the bottom of the deck, which is really powerful. It's an OTT ability in Blaster. Next, you can see I also play 3 copies of Blaster Arrow instead of 4. The reason why I'm still playing it is because it's a Blaster unit. It fulfills what Messianic Lord needs. But the thing is, since I do not play Arcsaver Dragon, there's no point to playing 4. So you might ask me, why not trim it down to 2? There's sometimes you play 2 copies and you got a really bad luck. 2 of them actually goes into your damage zone. You just lose a Blaster unit in order to fulfill Messianic Lord's Blaster ability. So 3 is still a safe bet and it's a 10k, so not too bad. And lastly, I play 4 copies of Conjurer of Mithril. Yes, this card is actually really good. This card is literally Blaster in disguise. It allows you to fetch any grade 2 Blaster from the deck. It's so flexible, it's a toolbox card. So that's why I play 4 copies. Next, let's head into our grade 1 lineup. I play 4 copies of Blaster Javelin, 4 copies of Blaster Dagger, and 4 copies of Knight Squire Allen. So let's talk about the Blaster, the grade 1 Blaster. Sure, it's Blaster in name and it has its own ability. Blaster Dagger lets you bounce back to hand after your Vanguard hits the Vanguard. Yes, and Blaster Javelin lets you sort of like bind your opponent's front row as well, which is pretty good. But the most important thing is it has Blaster in name. And another important piece in the deck is Knight Squire Allen. Yes, this card allows you to draw and make columns in order to attack your opponent, to be aggressive against your opponent. Since this deck, you only run 4 copies of grade 3s and it's only Messianic Lord Blaster and you want it to be in your hand. So the more draw power you have, the better it is. So yes, 12 grade 1s. And my trigger lineup, I play 5 crit triggers, 7 draw triggers, and 4 heal triggers. Yes, in this deck you want to play a bit more draw, so it gives you the ability to draw into the pieces that you need. For example, Messianic Lord Blaster, or even the grade 2s, or even the grade 1 blasters. So yes, pretty generic. Of course, you can actually tweak the ratio of your trigger lineup to 8-4, like let's say 8 draw triggers, 4 crit, or 6 draw triggers and 6 crits. Yes. So yeah, this is actually how my MLB deck looks like. So now let me give you a tip to how to play the deck aggressively, and also how to get, let's say if you don't have MLB in your opening hand, how to draw into MLB as fast as possible. So let's say for example your opening hand, if there's no MLB in your hand, you start with the grade 0, and if you are going first, you write with a grade 1. And here's an opportunity, here's a chance for you to actually draw into MLB. So this is the first chance for you to draw into MLB, and then after that you end your turn, it goes to your opponent's turn. They attack you with 2 units. Let's say they have 2 units and they wanted to rush you, even 1 or 2. So if they have 2, that's fine. Do not guard those attacks. Take that damage until you have 2 damage. So let's say if they trigger a crit trigger on their Vanguard, you can just guard the second attack. And if you take the damage and it hits a draw trigger, that is another chance, another opportunity for you to draw into the pieces that you need, like let's say MLB again. Then your grade 2 turn, you ride Blaster Blade, for example, and then you use your first counterblast to call Alan. Using Alan's ability allows you to call another unit and draw another card, which could possibly be a MLB or another blaster pieces. Then when you call into, then you may actually call into, let's say if you have Conjurer of Mithril in your hand, you may call that card. Conjurer of Mithril allows you to call Blaster Rapier from the deck, and then you just need to play 1 Counterblast and 1 Soul. Why do you call Blaster Rapier from the deck? So let's say, because in this deck you actually want to set up get all the pieces as fast as possible, even before going to grade 3. So Blaster Rapier has the ability that lets you check the top deck, which is really good. So let's say for example, let's say right now we go into battle phase, and then first you attack with Blaster Rapier. If you check, if it's not MLB and if it's a crit trigger, it's actually really good. So because if you have 4 units on the board, 4 rear guards on the board, your Blaster Blade will become 2 crits. And if it's a crit trigger, you can add that crit onto your Blaster Blade to do 3 damage with 1 attack. So let's say for example, you have 4 units and you attack with Blaster Rapier, it's a crit trigger. The crit trigger goes onto Blaster Blade. Blaster Blade attack, 3 damage, done. And then the 10k you probably allocate to Conjurer of Mithril. Conjurer of Mithril, being boosted by Alan, will hit with the trigger, will hit for 30k. So it's a potentially 4 damage in 1 turn, which is really good. So you're dealing 4 damage even before going into grade 3. It's very impressive. So yeah, by now you should be able to go through a certain numbers of cards from your deck. However, if you have not been able to get a Messianic Lord Blaster until now, I guess you just have to hope for the assist during your grade 3 turn. And because you're playing 7 draws, you are able to ditch, let's say if you have the draw trigger in your hand, you're able to ditch the 2 draw triggers and check the top 5. And if there's a Messianic Lord Blaster, yes, you have completed your pieces. And one last important thing is, your grade 1, do not simply ride your Blaster Dagger and Blaster Javelin if you only have 1 copy in your hand. Because those cards, these 2 cards are very important, and there's no way for you to tutor them up, unlike the grade 2. So keep it in your hand. If you have to ride Alan, ride Alan. Keep the Blaster Javelin and Dagger in your hand. So yeah, that's about it. I hope you guys actually enjoy this deck profile, and if you have any other awesome combos or build regarding MLB and you would like to share, please comment below. And also don't forget to subscribe to our channel so that you do not miss out all the deck profiles, ideas, tips and technique videos that I'll be sharing with you in the future. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye!